Delmont, Pennsylvania, Steel City Raceway, getting ready for the 250 Series finale. Even though the title is already wrapped up by Jeff Emig, his second consecutive title as we see him here, the final race of the season does have some good ramifications. Can Jeremy McGrath, for instance, taking the advice of Skip Norfolk right here, win his very first motocross of the season? A lot of contracts are up for grabs right now as well for the other riders.
It's his last chance to shine this year. You can bet Skip's trying to motivate him, get his head in the right place.
Another thing, can John Dowd, who's had such a successful end to the 1997 motocross season, can he go out a winner?
Well, the way he's been riding lately, yes, I would say so. However, I don't know. There's a lot of people that don't feel like this is the best track for him to shine on, but I may prove him wrong today with all that confidence.
Bob Oliver stepping in for Brian Berry as far as the wrenching duties are concerned, as we see Ryan Hughes taking a look now as Jeff Emig has wrapped this crown up already, coming into this race with 541 points. John Dowd would certainly like to put the nail in second place, and Jeremy McGrath in third. Getting set for our first moto. Starting to rev up. This is a good long start. Number 2, Jeremy McGrath. Number 1, Emig. It's Jeremy McGrath getting the edge at the corner. Albertine and Ward. Craig also good starts. Oh, look at Emig, edge in front. Now here comes Jeremy McGrath. So Jeremy McGrath will get the whole shot money, but he also has the lead out of that second turn.
Been a little while since Jeremy had a lead like this, and he's got the national champion right on his tail. Looks like a showdown like last year.
Oh, he'd love to have the last race on a Suzuki a winner. Jeremy McGrath, his second whole shot of the year. Right behind him, though, the fast ones. Emig, Albertine, Michael Craig, Honda of Troy, after coming off the 125 and running these last few races on a 250.
Albertine almost edging in front of Emig there in that sharp right-hander. That would have been good for Jeremy. A little buffer, get the teammate back there to keep Emig back a little longer.
Dowd in fifth. Oh, Doug Henry is down on the 4-stroke. He's going to have to get it rolling to get it started again.
After getting the whole shot in the first moto last week in New York. Oh, what a different start for him today. He's going to have to come through 40 riders. That's not easy to do.
After laying out 6 races because of those broken arms, it's just good to see him back on the track. Here comes Albertine, dicing with Emig for second place. Jeremy McGrath, number 2. Emig, number 1. Albertine. Whoa, Craig gets out of sorts there, looks back and sees Larry Ward, Honda of Troy, on his tail.
Looking good for Suzuki right now. Both those guys getting off the line, Jeremy and Albertine. Great starts. They got the power heading up the hill. Albertine really making Emig protect his line right now. He wants to go after McGrath, but he can't leave the door open or Albie will sneak in there.
After such a great crowd pleaser in the 125s, we see more power on this fast track today with the 250s.
The 125s kind of build up the track a little different too. They come through the corners, a little different momentum. And the 250s get out there and things are a little different for the first couple of laps until the lines change somewhat.
Well, these guys really have to be flexible on the 250s now after the ruts have developed, because as you saw going through the corners, they're raising their leg up about fender high.
Yeah, they get deep. That bike drops down in there and you got to get your leg out of the way.
Look at one of the big jumps on this terrific Delmont, Pennsylvania course. Emig with a pretty good lead on Albertine. Albertine with 1 win on the season. That was Hangtown, and he has 2 second-place overall finishes this year.
Albie's a lot like Carmichael in that he can make up a lot of time in a short space. So just because Emig pulled away a little bit doesn't mean it's over.
Michael Craig putting the heat on Albertine as well. Craig so far has not signed a contract for next year. He's looking for a ride, number 15, and he's riding like he's under contract talks. McGrath, Emig, Albertine, Craig, and Larry Ward. We'll be back with more Moto 1 action after this.
6 cylinders, 6 carbs, 2 bags, 1 windshield. It's a good thing we got 50 states. The new Valkyrie Tour. America's the boulevard it was born to cruise.
When you buy a new Honda 4Trax 300, 300 4x4, or the rugged Foreman 400, you can see something you just won't see on any other ATV. Your choice of 7.9% APR financing and no down payment. or a pair of incredible German precision optics Steiner binoculars. Now you can see why Honda ATVs are the best on earth.
Hi, Bob Vila here to show you a unique new Craftsman tool no home should be without. Craftsman Handy-Cut utility cutters. The one tool you can count on for all kinds of tough cutting jobs. Craftsman Handy-Cut does the job of utility knives, carpet knives, shears, shop cutters, and more. Look how tough it is to make a good cut through this damaged garden hose with a utility knife. Craftsman Handy-Cut gets it done in one clean cut. It's a terrific small branch and shrub pruner. Shears or shop cutters can't trim vinyl flooring as easily as the Craftsman Handy-Cut. Use the Craftsman Handy-Cut to cut nearly any common household material, including rope, plastic, leather, vinyl, and rubber. Call now, and you can order your Craftsman Handy-Cut for only $19.99. And remember, when you buy from Sears, your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back.
To order your Craftsman Handy-Cut, get your Sears card or the credit card ready and call 1-800-697-6161. That's 1-800-697-6161. Call right now.
6 cylinders, 1,520 cc's. You'll go through towns where you'll be the biggest thing that happens all year. The new Valkyrie Tour. America's the boulevard it was born to cruise.
AMA Motocross on ESPN2 is being brought to you by Dunlop. Simply the best for your bike. Welcome back to our final motocross of the year from Steel City Raceway in Delmont, Pennsylvania. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs. Out in front is Jeremy McGrath, but he's been unable to pull away from those top contenders. As we take a look at John Dowd in 6th place. Dowdy with not the best start in the world. He's coming off a win last week. Dowdy coming up over the hilly section. Ooh, he cased it hard. John Dowd goes down, lands on his feet after a somersault. Looks like the bike is still going. No, he's going to have to restart it and turn around. He's lost a lot of spots, David.
Here's another look. I think what he was supposed to do was ride through this little valley and jump like Larry Ward is, but he actually landed on the face of the takeoff. Caught him a little bit by surprise. It's easy sometimes to miss time which jump you're on. There's a lot of jumps through there. I think he just blew it right there and got a little off the timing.
Yeah. Didn't look like he was hurt, though, as we see Albertine riding through our picture, trying to catch up from his 3rd place position. Emigan second behind Jeremy McGrath. McGrath out in front, doing a nice job of it so far, hoping for that first win on the motocross season.
So far, not really having to hold off Emig. He's got a pretty good lead.
Jeremy with 5 podiums so far on the years. We take a look at Doug Henry in the mechanics area. Pete Steinbrecher, his mechanic. Obviously, they're not quite sure what's wrong, as Emig now pulling up fairly close to Jeremy McGrath. McGrath has just been unable to pull away.
And right now, Emig's just a Suzuki sandwich, reaching up for the tearaway. Best time to do it. You don't have to worry about picking a line or anything up there. A lot of airtime here in Delmont.
Jeff Emig, if there was any question about effort here in his final race after wrapping up the crown, it's been answered. Henry in the mechanics area, you see conferring with Bob Oliver and Pete Steinbrecher. Should we get this thing back on the track, or whoa, he's shutting the engine down, David?
Well, he's not going for the title, so better to be safe, figure out what the problem is, come back out in the second moto, get everything working right.
Jeremy McGrath is our leader, but this young man, Jeff Emig, the champion, 2-time champion, is hot in pursuit. It looks like he wants to take over the lead here in this first moto.
Precision out here on this racetrack. Look at these ruts. Only as wide as a tire. These guys are going 3rd gear wide open through some of those corners.
Davy's got more info on Henry's problem.
Doug, we saw you go down early, but then we saw you pull in the pits. What's wrong with the bike?
I don't know. I just heard a noise. Maybe when I fell, I must have, maybe I banged something, and it sounds like something's rubbing, so I didn't want to take any chances. I'm not in the points race, so I'll just take it easy this one.
It looked like you were messing around with the starter. I know the bike doesn't have a Kickstarter. Was that a problem?
No, I don't think so. I guess we'll have to take it apart and see. I really don't know what
Will
it
we
is.
see you in the second moto?
I hope so.
Thank you, Davey. While we were talking with Doug Henry, we've got a battle going on for first place, and something must have happened out of our camera range to Albertine. We've got Emig in second place behind number 2, Jeremy McGrath. Then Craig Michael Craig, number 15, Larry Ward, and then Albertine. So Albertine has lost a couple of positions, David.
Yeah, that would just take a little mistake somewhere, overshoot a berm, and both those Honda and Troy guys were right there to take advantage of it.
Here you see our field summary. In the top 5, as we'll go through the top 10 for you, Lusk, Hughes, LaRocco, Button, and McCormick.
There you see Larry Ward coming down that hill and just drifting over that berm. You see how much time Albertine closed right up on him. So, like I was talking about, the precision here. You get into those berms, they're not very big, and you're cruising in there at a pretty good clip.
Touching wheels in the corner.
You make a little mistake like that, go down hard.
Here comes Albertine. He's got the inside track, and he moves in front of Larry Ward. Albertine is so fast. If he ever gets consistency, look out. He's a champion.
Yes, keep him healthy and consistent, and he can win this outdoor title next year.
There's number 11, Ezra Lusk, moving up into the fray.
Sure, probably Emick doesn't want to hear that, or Jeremy really for that matter, but it's a fact. He's fast enough.
The fans still believe Jeremy is out in front in this race. Can he hold on? We'll find out when we return.
Are you ready for more action, more danger, more impact? Well, your wait is over. The hottest, most intense, extreme crash impact ever. Crash Impact 2. 70 minutes of explosive, heart-stopping crash action. You have to see to believe. All new crashes from Superbikes, Harley Series, drag racing, stock cars, sprint cars, Supercross, Indy cars, flat track, and more. All jam-packed on 2 tapes for only $19.95. Order now and get absolutely free. The new Extreme Sports Virtual Reality featuring insane extreme sports from around the world like you've never seen before. You'll get the all-new Crash Impact 2 plus the Extreme Sports Video free. 3 tapes that'll blow you away. Guaranteed or your money back.
To order, call 1-800-997-2992. That's 1-800-997-2992. Or send $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping and handling to the address on your screen.
Did you see Rocket last night? That was classic Clements.
Absolutely agree. You know what I liked about him? Nothing fancy, comes right at you.
Chicken, please. And then when he's got all his pitches working, you can just forget about it.
Unstoppable. I'll have the chicken too, please.
Can you just put the biscuit in the basket? Biscuit in the basket, biscuit in the basket, biscuit in the basket, biscuit in the basket. Oh, Dan.
I thought I was over, Keith.
If I would have just ordered the cornbread, none of this would have happened.
I know.
We're back with 250 action from Delmont, our first moto. And here's a classic matchup. Number 1 and number 2 battling it out for first place. Jeff Emick on the inside, showing Jeremy McGrath a wheel or two. Can he take him? McGrath has the good line through the corner, but goes wide. Emick inched out in front just for a second, but he's still bar to bar with Jeremy McGrath. McGrath the inside line. How will it set up? Oh, nice jump by Emick. He leaped into position to pass Jeremy McGrath.
Boy, that was brilliant right there. Very sneaky. Jeremy, the last thing he's thinking is that I'm going to have this guy just get the crowbar out like he said in the first moto. Carmichael tried to do that to Huffman. It worked for Emick.
So Jeff Emick now has taken the lead. Can Jeremy McGrath hold on, not let him off? Michael Craig is close.
Yeah, as fast as these guys have been going out front, Craig has actually closed the gap. Looks to me like he's going to be putting pressure on Jeremy here in about a half a lap.
This is Michael Craig's 3rd 250 race in the outdoors this season. Started out with a 7th at Washougal, went to a 14th in the last race. He'd certainly like to better that, of course, and get a better chance at a contract with a good team next year. Jeremy McGrath, of course, we already announced going to Chaparral Yamaha with the Team Yamaha engine, and of course Jeff Emick already has a year left on his contract with Kawasaki. That's that time of the year, and look at this. Michael Craig makes the move on Jeremy McGrath.
That was amazing. Craig came out of there like he was shot out of a cannon. Made it look a little more impressive because Jeremy made a slight bobble coming out of the corner, but front wheel didn't even touch. Craig just rode the rear wheel down those stair steps.
So Craig now is in good position if something should happen to our leader. Jeff Emick going by, and he takes part of the course marker with him. Some of it might have wrapped around that rear wheel. That could affect his brake. Let's see if Michael Craig can take advantage of it from 2nd place. Jeremy McGrath has also pulled up a little closer in 3rd.
Looked like it broke loose. That's not quite as bad as the stuff they have in the Supercross.
Whoa! Michael Craig doubles. He goes right by Emig. Emig looking a little cautious. Jeremy McGrath now is putting the challenge to number 1, Jeff Emig.
Emig knows he went wide there. See him looking down. He's got that all collected in the rear wheel, and it's on the brake side. If he's looking to his right, that's bad news. He could lose the rear brake for a little while, maybe the rest of the moto.
So it's Craig, Jeremy McGrath, and then Jeff Emig. Can Jeremy McGrath now make a challenge on Michael Craig? This has been a fun rivalry over the years, not a consistent one, but it came from Tampa one year in Supercross when everybody was going to say, hey, we can't beat Jeremy McGrath. Michael Craig said, the guy's beatable, and he went out and did it.
McGrath pulling a tear off right there. Albie back in the picture. Boy, what a bad break for Emig. You see him looking down in the air. He's going to keep tapping that brake. Looks like most of it's gone, but at first it'll cause that wheel to spin a little slower. That'll get your attention. Then you'll lose the brake. Coming into a corner like this, you won't be able to come in quite as aggressive. All the hills here really going to affect him for a while.
So Emig having to fend off Greg Albertine. It looks like he's biding his time to me until that burns off, or he gets more confidence in the situation.
You know, at this pace, as fast as these guys are going, the concentration, if anything else slips into your head, you're worried about something, boy, that's all it takes for 2 or 3 guys to get right by you.
Davey Coombs is moving over into the mechanics area to get the opinion of Jeremy Albrecht about the situation with Jeff Emig. Will this hamper his style much? Davey.
Okay, J-Bone, you're always the calmest guy in the pits. But you got to be worried. It looks like he's got some of that tape stuck in his rear wheel.
Yeah, I seen him go off the track up here, and the banners kind of got wrapped up in there. And actually got all my tools to dig it out, get it done, if it was still not working, but it looked like it was working when he came back around, so hopefully he can work back up to the front.
Is the problem with the wheel going forward, or the brakes not working?
It's wrapped up around the disc, so it's kind of melts on there, and then the brakes don't work. That's the main thing. It won't stop the wheel, though. Bike's too fast.
A smile of confidence in his machine and his work now as Emig putting the pressure on McGrath. Michael Craig, you see, just out in front now as Emig in pursuit of McGrath. Whoa, what a gutsy move.
Right across in front of him, McGrath almost clipped his wheel. McGrath counted it perfect, came right back around the inside, squared him off.
Back and forth we go between McGrath and Emig for second place here in Moto number 1 from Delmont.
Takes a lot of energy to come out of that off-camber corner, keep that front end down as you accelerate up the hill. McGrath is working that bike, a lot of body English to keep that power on.
So McGrath holds on to second place. How long can he hold on, though, as we take a look at our field summary? Michael Craig, our leader. Larry Ward still in the top 5. Time for our Dunlop trivia question. Who holds the record for the largest points margin in 250 Outdoor National Championship action? We'll be back with the answer and more action in a moment.
It's propelled some of the world's best riders to the victory podium. It's helped build our reputation as the leader in high performance. It's no wonder it's the most popular performance pipe in the world. The Gold Series pipe, only from FMF Racing.
What would you give to be more confident? What would you give for the knowledge it takes to move with certainty through every business day?
Just $3.90 a week brings you the Wall Street Journal. Our personal finance guide and decision maker software is free with your paid 10-week subscription. Call now, 800-248-1300. That's 800-248-1300 for the Wall Street Journal.
Mark Hayes came to Bristol specifically to study under Dean Berman, whose forte is football rhetoric.
Drew Bledsoe, nickname. Who wants a crack at him?
Drew bled so much that he needed a transfusion.
Boring. Ms. Allen.
It's a trick question. Drew Bledsoe has no nickname.
Students are taught not just how to ask questions, but more importantly, how to ask questions about football.
Maybe a stupid question, but
There is no such thing as a stupid question, Mr. Hayes. Just stupid people that ask questions. Yes.
Does dysentery rhyme with Singletary?
There's the answer to our Dunlop trivia question. It was Mike LaRocco in 1994. His teammate Mike Kudrowski dropped out of the race, and he had a 150-point margin over John Dowd. Well, right now, Jeff Emig's trying to increase his points lead on John Dowd. to finish up the 1997 season. It could be the second highest in the history of AMA Motocross 250 action. The battle for third, Mike Craig in first place, a lapper there, Jeremy McGrath and Emig, and close by, look at that, Albertine is back in the race.
Boy, almost got around him too. Got a great drive off that jump. Same place Craig made the pass on Jeremy earlier. So once again, Emig finds himself a Suzuki sandwich. He got out of it before. See if he can do it again.
Albertine right on Jeff Emig's tail as they go over the jump. Jeff Emig comes into this race with the idea of not changing a thing. He wants to win it.
I'd like to go out winning 1-1 and having it, have a lot of fun. In a big lead, pulling out. I think I can. I think that's real important for me to ride my corners well and, to keep myself sharp for the Motocross of Nations.
Jeff Emig, of course, last year, such a great performance in that Motocross of Nations. And I got to hand it to Jeremy McGrath. Feeling he didn't have the season that really deserved it. Didn't feel he was at the top of his game. Declining consideration for that team.
Yeah, I've been in that position before. I've been on the team 5 years, and if you don't feel like you're riding your best or deserve a shot, you feel the weight of the country on your shoulders.
Here comes Emig to the inside. Looked like he might have even touched a little rubber with Jeremy McGrath, and it's Jeff Emig moving into second place. Look out, Michael Craig. We still have the battle on, though, as Jeremy's not willing to let him off the hook. It's Albertine right behind Jeremy McGrath.
Craig will hear the crowd and know something went on back there.
And a great crowd in that area, too, as they come up the hill. Michael Craig, can he withstand the pressure of the points champion? Los Larocco, Hughes, Dowd, and Swink rounding out our top 10. Good to see number 103, Brian Swink, up there in the top 10.
Yeah, and totally different lines coming to that right-hander there. Craig just keeping his momentum pinned all the way around the outside. Emig slowing way down in the corner to square it. Comes out about the same in the end. Interesting if they get really close together to see which one is actually faster.
The important thing for either rider right now is just don't make a mistake as they go into the big rut turn.
This is a great ride for Craig. The guy's fast. I like the fact that he's on a 250 now. He rides good in the indoors. You already said, Art, he won the Supercross in Tampa. I mean, the guy has got the talent. Just needs to get a little more consistency, ride the same bike all year. That would certainly help.
Can he withstand the pressure of the champion, Jeff Emig, though? That's the interesting question right here in this moto. He's got a great moto put together so far, but he looks back once again. He's not focusing on his own race, looking out in front, as you said. Here comes Emig. Oh, great place to pass, too. Now, the question for Craig is, does he have anything left?
Yeah, well, we'll find out the next couple laps. He certainly burned up a lot of fuel physically, try to stay out in front. I mean, he earned the lead. He went up there and challenged, got around Jeremy, passed everybody. But running that pace is a little different than running back in fourth or fifth where he's been lately, and we'll find out what this pace is taking its toll on him or not.
The Kawasaki of Jeff Emig out in front of the Honda of Troy, Michael Craig machine, and then the two Team Suzukis.
Good shot. You can see them all together there, the distance from first to fourth. So Albertine doesn't have to look too far up the racetrack to see the leader.
And Albertine right now duking it out with Jeremy McGrath, his teammate.
He's all over him.
Albertine, whoa, puts the old squeeze on Jeremy McGrath that time.
Almost didn't look like they were teammates there for a second.
Really?
Oh, that's what he had to do. I mean, he just took the inside. Made the pass. It was clear that in the last half a lap or so, it looked to me like he was a little faster, and this is the only way around. He takes the inside line. He's trying to hold it tight.
Just drifts out on him.
Yeah, Jeremy had to jam on the brakes and keep him running into that wall there.
Larry Ward behind them along with Ezra Lusk, number 11. It's been an interesting year for Ezra. He's opened a lot of eyes, winning his first Supercross on the 250s and, of course, at Budds Creek, taking his very first Moto 250 motocross win, as well as the overall victory there.
So the whole year on a 250, like I was just pointing out with Mike Craig, that's what Ezra Lusk has experienced this time. He's had a much better season. I think next year he's primed and ready. The table's set for him to go out and win a title.
The crowd anticipating a great finish as Jeff Emig is our leader. We'll be back in a moment.
Right now, Suzuki Quadrunner ATVs come with more than just forward and reverse. they also come with backup. Suzuki is backing up every quad runner with a free 4-year extended protection plan. See your Suzuki dealer today. Now you can also get 0 down and 9.9% financing on selected models.
Hi, Chuck. How's business?
Okay.
Hey, what's on your screen?
QuickBooks accounting software from the makers of Quicken.
Yeah, I really don't have time to learn new software.
If you can write a check, you can use QuickBooks. Answer a few questions and it tailors itself to your business. Create invoices like these. It has accounts payable, accounts receivable, payroll, and inventory, and over 60 customizable reports that put you in control.
I'm going to try it.
Nothing to lose.
Call 1-800-344-8300.
AMA Motocross on ESPN2 is being brought to you by Suzuki. Your Suzuki dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. Welcome back. It is our final motocross event of the year. Out in front, Jeff Emig of the 250s here in the first moto. Craig has run a wonderful race. This is the final lap, and the battle has come down to Craig and Albertine for second place.
Albertine drifting a little wide in that off camber, almost went out to that taping, marking the course. Craig looking over his shoulder just to make sure he had enough room to square that corner because he knew Albertine was coming in hot on the inside.
Meanwhile, Jeff Emig out in front is looking for his 16th moto victory. You know, David, only 3 moto wins have taken place for Emig where he didn't sweep both motos in an event. That means 6 times this year he's taken both motos.
That's just total confidence, and you can see it. Anytime we get an interview with him, he's got that little bit of a snicker, like, oh, I'd like to go out and win both motos. I think they can, and his mechanics got the confidence. I mean, they seem like they're having a really good time out there, having a lot of fun. Look at Albertine right there, just jumped that section a little different timing through there. I haven't seen anyone do that.
You know, Albertine, it seems like, will try anything to catch up, and here, this is the final lap. He's trying to move into second place against Michael Craig. Craig has run just a beautiful race on this 250.
Yeah, he's making up a little time. That's where Dowd got a little off track and cased it on the face of that jump. He may have been trying to do the same thing Albertine just did right there.
Emig just breezing toward the checkered flag. Here he comes, the final turn. And look at right behind him, catching up a little bit was Michael Craig. So it was boom, boom, boom for the first 3 places. Emig, Craig, and Albertine. So Jeff does put the clamps on his 16th moto victory. Can he get number 17? He rode a wonderful race. Let's go down now to Davey Coombs, who's in the podium area with our champion.
Jeff has 100% effort. We saw you go off the track. You had something wrong with your bike. Picked it back up. You got the win, man. You just don't stop.
Yeah, I got off the track a couple of times. I thought I was going to pick up some banners for a second time, but I was lucky I didn't. I mean, I was lock to lock in some situations, man. I rode a little bit more out of control than what I have all year long, and I mean, right now it seems like a lot of fun, you know. But if I'd gone down, it probably wouldn't have been.
Yeah. Now there are a couple guys up there, like way into the moto, that haven't been there very often this year. That's Jeremy McGrath and Mike Craig. They had to surprise you with the way they run.
Well, I think it's a good track for a lot of guys, and seeing how it's the final race, I think a lot of guys, they give it the extra effort, and you know, they say, okay, you know, like, this is how my equipment is, I'm going to give it my best. And Mike Craig, you know, he just moved into the 250 class, so you know, he's going real fast. But I think that I was just stronger and maybe a little bit smarter than everybody. I mean, I twisted the grip off at that time.
Well, it looks like Michael Craig made the right decision moving to the 250s out of the 125s during this salary drive. Let's go back to Davey.
All right, Mike, first of all, congratulations. What a tough ride on the 250.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to prove to everybody. I wanted to prove I'm a good indoor rider, but I wanted to show some outdoor experience. So I've been working real hard, and I'm happy with second, but damn, I didn't know first was that close, because 2 laps ago, I think I would have turned it up a little bit. But all for all, I'm doing this for myself, because it seems like when I do it for someone else, you never know who your real friends are. And I do have a couple of them out there. So next year, I'll probably be on a different team. But whatever I'm on, I'm going to do just the way I rode there, hard as I can.
Another guy who always rides hard. I don't care where he is or who he's riding for. It's Greg Albertine, the former 3-time world champion. Davey.
All right, Greg, you definitely had the pace out there. You look strong from start to finish, but that one little mistake, what happened?
I just came in a little too hard, Taz. Maybe just pushing a little too hard the first few laps and came in and my rear wheel just broke out and was enough to knock me down a few positions. I mean, my Suzuki was running great and I really felt I could have won out there, but not on the ground.
Were you surprised to see Craig in front of you?
Yeah, I was. He was going really well and I was expecting him to fade, but he didn't. He rode a really strong race.
So will the Jeffro fans get out the brooms? Will he sweep this one? We'll be right back.
Out of the shadows come 3 incredible motorcycles. Each one takes the look of a custom to a beautiful new place. The new Honda Shadow Spirit 1100, the new Shadow Ace Tourer, and the Shadow American Classic Edition. It's always cooler in the shadows.
It's a new America with a new and different voice. The American Spectator. Fearless. Controversial. Truthful.
And now the American Spectator is risk-free.
You won't find the American Spectator on many newsstands, so call this toll-free number now.
Now you can own this special 1-hour home video, Ronald Reagan, an American president, free with your subscription to the American Spectator. Call 800-233-0500 now. This is a limited offer. Have your credit card ready. Call 800-233-0500 now.
If you had a Soloflex machine, you could do 32 real iron pumping exercises. You could build muscle, lose fat, look better, feel better, and have more energy.
Soloflex is on sale now. Call now for your free brochure.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stanton with this week's Honda Riding Tip. There are several things to accomplish during your pre-race practice. Set up your bike for the track. You should be ready to dial in your jetting and suspension after the first session. Try different lines. Try the inside, the outside, and the middle line through each corner, jump, and whoop section. Lastly, check out your competition. See where they are faster or slower than you. Look for their weaknesses to exploit and their strengths to overcome. You can plan your race by knowing what to expect from the track, yourself, and your opponents. For Honda, I'm Jeff Stanton.
Last week, a rider lost control in the mechanics area, running into Brian Barry. Bob Oliver thus has taken over the mechanics duties for John Dowd. We talked with John earlier.
Yeah, he's doing okay. I mean, he's, obviously he's not here today. Bob Oliver is going to be my mechanic for the day, but as far as I know, he's doing okay. They just the doctors told him that flying probably would not help the swelling in his his leg. I guess it's pretty much going down, but like they said, the long plane ride from California would probably aggravate it some. So they advised him to stay home for 1 more week. So, but he is doing good. It's just a big muscle bruise in there. So he's just gonna be sore for a few weeks walking around or whatever, but he's okay.
We're at the gate getting ready for moto number 2. You saw Jeff Emig getting the goggles on. Michael Craig wondering if he can hold up that kind of performance. Number 15 against Jeff Emig. And then Jeremy McGrath right next to Emig on the right side. We're underway. Moto 2. Whoa, Emig leaning in a little bit. Jeremy had to back off. 1,900 pro shot money goes to Emig, number 1. But look at Michael Craig moving into second place. It's a battle for third. Mike LaRocco, a good start. John Dowd just to the right of LaRocco, battling it out for third as they come down the hill.
Emig charging hard in that corner. Oh, a little bobble there. Able to save it.
It's Emig Michael Craig, number 15. Mike LaRocco, number 5. LaRocco, after a 7th place finish in the first moto, has a chance to move up in that overall. Here you see our leader, Michael Craig. Another good start for Michael. So it's Emig number 1, Craig 15, LaRocco, Dowd, Albertine, Lusk, and then Jeremy McGrath. You see number 9, Ryan Hughes, going through the shot. Doug Henry is also back in the action here in moto number 2. Kind of a freight train effect right now. Whoa, Albertine slipping just a little bit. Must be slippery because Lusk also moved down on his teammate, John Dowd.
Art, really, it's not so slick as it is just they're coming down that hill so hard. They need to lay it into that berm. They've come in a little hot and actually just overshot the berm.
Well, looks like moto number 2 is going to be the same good action that we had in moto number 1. Jeff Emig out in front, Michael Craig in 2nd place. And Emig is not so far able to really carry away with a big lead. There's Mike LaRocco, number 5, Greg Albertine, then Ezra Lusk. Lusk trying to recover from a 6th place first moto, but he's in good position right now. John Dowd behind his teammate.
He's always fast and hard charging at the end. LaRocco got a great opportunity right here to show us what he can do from up front. Mike Craig says he's going to go out there and go as hard as he can, and what he probably learned, if anything, from that first moto is that Emig isn't that much faster, if any at all. So he needs to get after him right now before he gets away. You can see he's already starting to pull a little bit of a lead.
I just wonder, energy-wise, not particularly conditioning, but energy-wise, if the adrenaline was just pumping a little bit too hard at Michael Craig in the first moto to have much left in the second half of the second moto.
Well, when you got to look like this in an opportunity, you kind of put all that energy aside. You just go off the adrenaline. Right now, he can see Emig. He wants to win and prove it to everyone. I'm not sure who the heck he was proving it to from that interview in the first moto, but regardless, he's right there. He's going to give it everything.
Mike LaRocco with 2 podiums, trying to look good in the last moto of the year. Could be his last one for Suzuki. Probably is. The rumors are he's looking at Honda of Troy. Jeff Emig, Michael Craig, and LaRocco are top 3.
Are you ready for more action, more danger, more impact? Well, your wait is over. The hottest, most intense, extreme crash impact ever. Crash Impact 2. 70 minutes of explosive, heart-stopping crash action. You have to see to believe. All new crashes from Superbikes, Harley Series, drag racing, stock cars, sprint cars, Supercross, Indy cars, flat track, and more. All jam-packed on 2 tapes for only $19.95. Order now and get absolutely free the new Extreme Sports Virtual Reality, featuring insane extreme sports from around the world like you've never seen before. You'll get the all-new Crash Impact 2 plus the Extreme Sports Video free. 3 tapes that'll blow you away. Guaranteed or your money back.
To order, call 1-800-997-2992. That's 1-800-997-2992. Or send $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping and handling to the address on your screen.
RPM tonight at 8, only on ESPN2.
This week's Suzuki Flashback was the 1996 showdown at Delmont. McGrath trailing by 2 points on Emig going into the final round. His first must-win situation of his career. Emig with the hole shot, McGrath right there. Before the end of the first lap, McGrath, the beautiful block pass, takes over the lead, but watch Emig, squares the corner, doesn't even let off, wide open, catches McGrath by surprise, retaking the lead, held it all the way to the finish for the first moto win, extending his lead to 5. Second moto, McGrath getting closed out, and Emig with the hole shot. The only way McGrath could win the title is to win the moto and hope Emig would slip to 3rd. But it wouldn't happen. McGrath working his way through traffic here. Dyson with Doug Henry making the pass, but came up short as Emig captured his first 250 title in the same fashion he captured his first 125 title, the final moto of the year.
Back to our final moto of the year for 1997 here at Steel City. Emig is still our leader. with Craig, LaRocco, Albertine, and Lusk in the top 5. Michael Craig still holding on to that second place. Mike LaRocco biding his time right now. Jeremy McGrath in 6th. John Dowd had hope for better starts here in the final event of the year. Michael Craig in 2nd place. Mike LaRocco, number 5, makes the challenge, and he moves into 2nd place. Look out, Craig. You've got another rider right behind you in Greg Albertine.
Craig looking all over the place.
Oh, gets a little nudge there from the South African. Still continues on. Is able to hop back into the action as Ezra Lusk and Jeremy McGrath tighten things up.
Now it's already twice in that same little section that Craig's looking over his shoulder. Albertine's fork guard on the right side is torn loose. It's flapping around in the front. He obviously got together with somebody in that first lap to knock it loose. You see right there, it's flapped forward. If that was the other side, it might be a problem where the front brake cable is, but he should be okay with that.
Albertine putting the heat on number 15, Michael Craig.
Craig once again looking to his left, looking around way too much. You hear guys saying, ride my own race, needed to ride my own race. Well, when you're looking around like that, you can't be riding your own race. Lusk up in there this time.
David, John Dowd doesn't seem to have the spark that he had. Of course, last week he was a big winner at Binghamton.
Well, if you look at the track in Binghamton versus this one or Southwick where he did well, it's a lot softer soil. His picking lines is a little bit different. It's much rougher, and I think it suits him a lot better. Here it's just, and also the starts today haven't been that good for him either.
We'd like to send along our congratulations to Ezra Lusk on his 22nd birthday. Of course, he's battling with Albertine, and it's Albertine's mechanic's birthday today. Ian Harrison, who's the ripe old age of 26. Whoa, Ezra cranked the throttle, shot through the air.
A great line through there. I haven't seen anybody do that quite that good. He just got out of there. He sets him. He actually takes just a moment to get himself set up and just sits down to get all that preload, compresses the suspension so it rebounds more, and he gets all that lift. Great line. He just eliminates a couple of jumps through there.
Craig, Lusk, Albertine in that order. That's where the action is, as Emig now starting to pull a lead out in front.
Look at all the talent. Yeah, LaRocco, Craig, Lusk, Albertine. Oh, Craig makes a mistake, goes over the berm.
And right there to take advantage of it is Ezra Lusk. And here comes Albertine now on Michael Craig. Craig slipping from 2nd, could end up in 5th by the time they come over this hill. Not quite. Albertine, though, still hanging close. He takes the inside route. Greg Albertine pushing number 15 back another notch. And Jeremy McGrath is on the move.
This is going to be a gratifying win for Emig if he can hang on. Wrap up the season like this with a sweep, and look at all the talent. Everybody getting good starts this time, even LaRocco. And to still just pull out a lead, make all these guys wonder what they're doing wrong.
He's getting a psychological advantage started, a momentum, like Jeremy McGrath had in the early years of 93, 94.
Yeah, you know, it's just a bummer that it has to end, too, because at the end of the season, I've been in that position where you win a title, then you wait around till the next season, and you never really know if you're going to still have it. What guys are doing in the offseason, some of the guys switching teams, what Jeremy's going to do, you know, on the Yamaha now. Renewed motivation.
Oh, John Dowd goes over the bars.
Looked like he clipped that stake there. He had it laid over, and that may have pulled on the front brake lever. See if we can tell. Yep, he hits that stake right there in the ground with the front brake, I believe, and it just locked up the front wheel and stood the bike right up on the nose. You don't see that very often.
Look at this. Mike LaRocco, Team Suzuki, starting to catch up with Jeff Emig in a battle for first place.
When was the last time Emig had pressure from LaRocco this early in the race? He might not know how to handle it.
I think the last time was probably Millville when LaRocco was a 2-3 to the sweep for Jeff Emig.
Right now, it's clear to me LaRocco's faster. He has made up time. See if Emig, a lot of times when you get somebody catches it, you pump up, get a little nervous, start riding defensive, and don't ride your own race. LaRocco may force Emig into that.
Well, for the first time in a long time, LaRocco got a good start, starting out in 3rd.
Makes all the difference.
Doesn't have to waste the energy, or expend the energy, I should say, of coming up through the entire pack to be competitive. Here's our field summary. Our Honda field summary has Emig, LaRocco, and Lusk the top 3 positions, followed by Albertine and Michael Craig.
presents Max Jerome, Private Eye.
When I saw her, my heart started pounding like a heavyweight speed bag until she started calling collect without dialing 1-800-COLLECT.
You could be saving up to 44% by dialing 1-800-COLLECT, Angel. Let me show you how it's done.
It's so easy. Now let me show you how it's done.
Any Joe will tell you, 1-800-COLLECT is the easy way to save up to 44%.
Discover the amazing hitting secrets of America's finest baseball school in Teaching the Mechanics of the Major League Swing 2. Tommy Mansky's powerful teaching video that features the same revolutionary techniques that have produced baseball world's back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams. Parents, players, and coaches have been simply amazed at their students' rapid week-by-week improvement. These award-winning techniques benefit players of all ages and ability levels and make a valuable addition to any coach's library and a great gift. At just $29.95, call now.
Saturday, it's two great quarterbacks on ESPN2. At 12:30, Ryan Leaf's Rocket Arm powers Pac-10 upstart Washington State, while Illinois features one of the Big Ten's top backs, Robert Holcomb. Then at 6, Tulane meets the Orange Men from Syracuse and the Big East explosive superstar, quarterback Donovan McNabb. Washington State, Illinois at 12:30, Tulane, Syracuse at 6, Saturday on ESPN2.
Welcome back to our final moto of the 250 outdoor AMA Motocross season. Coming to you from Delmont. Our leader is Jeff Emig with Mike LaRocco on his tail as we look back at Ezra Lusk, along with Greg Albertine.
Good lines. I like Lusk. He came out of that left a little earlier, drifted all the way wide. He cut all the way back to the left, set himself up for that right-hand sweeper, missed some of those bumps.
Lusk, of course, going over to Team Honda. Greg Albertine has re-signed with Team Suzuki for next year. Our cameras caught up with Greg at his home in Riverside, California, and we asked him about adjusting from being three-time champion of the GP circuit to the difficult start of the American Supercross scene.
Well, that was very tough. I mean, obviously, you know, you're the top dog in Europe. You've just won 3 world championships. You're the best, and everybody knows it. And then you go to a strange place again, different country, different people you have to get to know, and all of a sudden you're not winning. You know, when you're winning, everything fits into place. Everything is easy. Even the biggest problem becomes the smallest problem. But when you're not winning, the smallest problem becomes the biggest problem. And it feels like you're drowning. And to get yourself out of that rut is very, very tough. And but you know, it comes back to a bad day at the motocross track is even better than a good day at the office, you know, and I really enjoy what I do, and that's why I keep on smiling, you know, even though I'm going through those tough times and having a difficult time in getting my confidence up, it's still what I love to do, and I know that it's only for a time. I know it's not going to be for the rest of my career that I'm going to be struggling. I know I'm going to get to the top, and that's where I want to go.
Albie's luck changed this season with an emotional victory at the opening round of the Supercross in Los Angeles.
Definitely, it definitely was one of the sweetest victories. You know, I like to surprise people, and I think a lot of people were saying there's no way he's going to do it in Supercross this year. And, you know, going out and winning the first race was just awesome. I mean, everything fitted together so perfectly that day. You have days where you can try as hard as you can, everything, you're just striving, and you end up getting a 4th. And then the next day comes along and you do pretty much, you ride so easily and you just, everything fits into place and you end up winning. And I mean, you're just going, that's effortless. But it was such an awesome feeling. I mean, just to know that I can do it. And as I said, once you've done it once, you know you can do it again.
Some riders give up after a crash. Albie gets up and rides harder. Why?
That desire again. You know, nobody likes to finish second, but to finish first is a big, big sacrifice. And you don't win races by giving up. And what I learned in my World Championship days is at the end of the year, 1 point can make the difference of being world champion or not. 1 point, that's all it takes. If I'd gone down and I was in contention for the title and I decided I'm not going to finish, or I wasn't going to try very hard and I only got 10th instead of 2nd, at the end of that year, you know that you're going to be regretting that result, because that's what's going to make the difference between you being champion or not. So the way I look at it, you got to give everything you can, all of the time, so that at the end of the year you go, I've done everything I can to get where I wanted to go, and whatever happens, happens after that.
Wonderful young man, Craig Albertine. Got his act together, and I think he's getting his act together enough so that we might see this guy on the championship podium next year.
I think he's watched and observed and fallen down and gotten all the cobwebs out. He knows what it takes to win now, and next year will be a whole different deal.
Well, with all the tough times he's had, Suzuki's had a lot of patience as well. I mean, other riders might have been gone after that.
Yeah, but I think Roger DeCoster sees potential. You know, he hired Johnny O'Mara, Donnie Hans, he hired myself. We weren't really setting the world on fire, but he saw potential, and fortunately he was right.
Well, he lucked out with you. That's a joke, Bailey.
Thanks a lot.
Jeremy McGrath being pursued now by John Dowd. John has been very strong in getting up twice now and coming back and getting into some competitive action.
Taking Albertine's advice.
That's right.
Yeah, he's tough. He's one of those guys that can go down. He's giving it 110%. Gets up, doesn't seem to matter. As long as he doesn't bend the bike, he's still a threat. There he goes.
Look at that. Squeezing to the inside on Jeremy McGrath. John Dowd. McGrath acted like he was offended by the pass. But John Dowd makes it stick.
One of those days for Jeremy. It started off good, got the whole shot, rode really good for most of the first moto, and then like he faded just a little bit. And you can see Skip. He can't be happy with that.
Skip, of course, just sitting in the interim, finishing out the season with Jeremy McGrath before going back to his regular job at No Fear. Maybe we can get him to sit in on one of our telecasts too next year on the Supercross like he did last year.
That'd be good. He's got some real insight. He understands what's going on out there. I get to talk to him quite a bit at work, and he's very smart.
Well, we'd be happy to have him back on the crew next year, that's for sure. Of course, Jeremy McGrath, we mentioned earlier in the telecast. Steve Butler is going to be the Yamaha factory liaison, and will have much of the say as far as the mechanics of Jeremy McGrath's bike. Randy Lawrence, the brother of Phil Lawrence, who has been working with Yamaha over the years, will be actually the guy assigned to him from Chaparral. Ezra Lusk goes down, but he gets up and he doesn't look like he lost a position. This late in the race, lucky break for Ezra. Here's our leader, Jeff Emig.
See, Emig using 2 fingers on the clutch. A lot of guys just using 1. He uses the middle 2 fingers. Everyone's got a little different technique. Emig's one of the only guys, and I pointed this out before, but that was a great shot of it, where he doesn't have his hand out there on it all the time. Just when he needs it, he reaches out, uses it, and he lets go of it again. Most of the guys keep their finger out there the whole time.
Jeff Emig closer to the sweep on this final day of motocross action in 1997.
When you buy a new Honda 4Trax 300, 300 4x4, or the rugged Foreman 400, you can see something you just won't see on any other ATV. Your choice of 7.9% APR financing and no down payment. Or a pair of incredible German precision optic Steiner binoculars. Now you can see why Honda ATVs are the best on earth.
How do you lose fat and build muscle? In only 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week. The Bowflex Better Body Workout. Chest, shoulders, back, arms, abs, and legs. For the body you want, call and get your free video and brochure on the machine that works like an entire gym that fits anywhere in your home.
Columbus versus Tampa Bay, Thursday at 8, MLS on ESPN2.
AMA Motocross on ESPN2 has been brought to you by Honda Motorcycles, the leaders in on and off-road fun. Honda, come ride with us. It's the final lap of the 1997 season. Jeff Emig pretty well has things nailed down out front. As we go back of the pack a little bit, here's Craig finishing up what could possibly be his final ride with Honda of Troy. At least it sounded that way in the interview. He's in 5th position right now.
That looks like it could change. He's still close enough to Albertine, and he's got John Dowd right there.
Is Dowdy incredible? He's gone down twice, and still he's in the top 6.
Oh, down again.
Not just as I said. It's a good thing there's not a 3 knockdown rule here in motocross. John Dowd getting right back up.
Just a little off balance out of that berm, and he couldn't save it. He put his leg out there to try. You know, this reminds me of, it actually sounds a lot like what Albertine was talking about earlier. Some days, just you're on autopilot, seems easy, and you can get away with the sweep. Other days, you try your tail off and end up with nothing. He's going to go home sore from today.
LaRocco has pulled up fairly close to Emig, but no danger. The checkers fly for Jeff Emig. His 7th sweep of the year for his 7th overall victory. Here in Moto 2, it's Emig, LaRocco, Lusk, Albertine, Michael Craig holding on to that top 5 position. And then 6 through 10, including Dowd, McGrath, Hughes, Henry, and Ward. Let's go to Davey.
Mike, it was a tough effort, but Emig just seemed to hold that extra 2 seconds on you the whole time. He couldn't make it up.
Well, early in the race, I was right behind him, and I bobbled in the middle, and gave him that 2, or actually I gave him more, and I kind of worked back into him, but just not enough muster to get, get the job done.
Your dad said that a lot of what you needed to do was outbrake him going down the hills and into corners. Is that because you feel like you were underpowered to Emig's Kawasaki?
Yeah, it's kind of been that way all year. He's had a great bike this year, and we worked real hard to get where we're at, and it's just, wasn't quite enough this year.
Well, good job on 2nd in the last moto of the year.
Thanks.
Atop the podium, of course, with the 1-1 finish, Jeff Emig. Albertine, another podium. Michael Craig, his first podium of the year. Jeremy finishing up with a 4th and a 7th. Let's go back down once again to Davey.
Yogas, your last ride on the Yamaha. I know you want to go out the win, but you still got to be pretty happy with how you did.
Well, I gave it all I had, and I was going for it those last 4 laps, and I ended up not putting my foot out, like my dad taught me all these years to keep your leg up, and I didn't do it, and that's what happened. It bit me in that turn, and I fell, and maybe if I hadn't fell, it would have been a little closer there at the end, but I was still going to charge, and, there's always where there's the will, there's a way, and I thought I could catch him again, but it was tough.
What about leaving Yamaha? I know you had a good run with the blue team.
Well, it's like I just said to those guys, those guys are like family to me, and it's always going to be like that now because they were so appreciative for me being on the team and so loving and caring. It's just like a family, and it's just sad that I have to leave Yamaha, but I just want to tell all those guys over the intercom and on the TV, I really love them, and Doug and John, they've been really great to me, and Kevin, you can't forget him and the up-and-comer, and I just, thanks for everything, you guys, and you'll always be my friend.
Here's what goes into the record books for 1997. A 116-point advantage for Emig, the biggest margin since Mike LaRocco's 150-point margin over John Dowd in 94. Davey.
All right, Jeff, what a way to wrap up the best year of your life. A 1-1 here at Steel City, last national of the year, another national championship.
Yeah, I'm just extremely happy, to go 1-1 again. I was kind of, I was wondering if I had too much competition here at the end of the year, like if I was slipping a little bit after last week, but man, it feels great, to go out 1-1, and I can't say enough about my mechanic, Jeremy Albrecht, and my team, Team Kawasaki for helping me out.
Right. Well, I tell you what, I know a lot of times you've come to Steel City, you've been in the thick of things. This is the first time you came here when there wasn't a championship on the line because you already owned it, but you still gave it 100%.
Yeah, I sure did. It's the safest way to race when you're out front by yourself. When you get back in the back and you're battling with guys, that's when it gets a little bit dangerous. So it was real important to get the 1/900 pro race money there, that second moto, and it was close both times, but at least I got it one of the times again, and I'd like to thank them for that. And my dad and Lonnie and my trainer John Hall. Everybody. It's just, it's just awesome. I'm just so happy.
All right, well, Emig, congratulations on a job well done.
Thanks a bunch.
Kawasaki's the only set team with Emig, Hughes, and Huffman coming back for next season, so the silly season is far from over as Emig, Dowd, and Lampson head next to the Motocross of the Nations. And David, I'd like to extend my appreciation to you and the entire crew for another great season on these telecasts.
And likewise, Art. It's been a lot of fun watching the season unfold, watching Jeff Emig's dominance. Can Jeremy McGrath move into Yamaha once again find his championship stature? And a lot of changes for 98. Lusk moving to Honda, Wyndham moving up to the 250 class in the Supercross, and the improvement in experience of Greg Albertine, still with Suzuki. 98 promised to be even better.
Art Ekman for Davey Combs and David Bailey saying